Honestly, the double down was like worse than the initial thing. Hello, HalfPint here, and I just wanted to say real quick, if you've been enjoying my content, please remember to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube and follow me on Twitch so you can always catch us when we're live and see more content. Also, if you are new here, welcome in, and if you're enjoying the video, please remember to like it because it helps me out a lot. I also post funny clips and other things on TikTok. All the links are in the description below, and thanks again. Now let's get into the video. I posted on Twitter, I posted in the Discord, I posted on YouTube, but there will be no streams Friday and Saturday this week. I'm so sorry. I'm traveling to see some folks who are going to be in town that aren't normally in town. So I will be out of town Friday and Saturday, coming back Sunday, but I am going to do a late night stream Sunday. It might be The Last of Us, honestly. I'm not sure yet. I haven't fully decided, but I'm going to do a late night stream Sunday to hopefully make up for that. So stream Sunday this week, no streams the next 2 days. Sorry about that. So probably no video on YouTube Sunday either this week. I actually don't mind the idea of maybe not doing a YouTube video 1 day a week. I don't know. The YouTube schedule is still up in the air. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to keep doing daily or if I want to do almost daily and just kind of like not push as hard, because I want to give myself a little more flexibility. I am still pretty committed to daily short form content. I feel like that's pretty easy to get done. Let's go ahead and jump into the artist who destroyed their career in seconds. Let me just make sure all my settings are right. Yes, they are. I'm not playing through the speakers for once. That's good. Look at me go. All right.
These artists' careers were never the same after one incident. Whether it was from their own...
I can already think of what DaBaby did.
Terrible decisions.
And Ashley Simpson. Ashley Simpson was the lip sync. I don't know about you. Janet Jackson, I'm going to guess, was the Super Bowl event, which doesn't even make sense to me, really. I'm not sure about CeeLo Green.
Or a minor misstep that got blown out of proportion. Today we're going
to
discuss them
sure
all,
about
starting
Macklemore.
with Macklemore, who leaked a text message that made everyone question what they thought they knew about him. In 2012 and 2013, you could not go anywhere without hearing the song Thrift Shop. Far from your typical rap song, Macklemore flexed $20 and had suburban moms dancing to his funky saxophone. This song spent 6 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Mac had one-hit wonder written all over him. He carried the most stereotypical white rapper image that is perceived as corny by hip-hop culture, but he proved everyone wrong with his second hit, Can't Hold Us, which spent 5 weeks at the #1 spot. This track was definitely more of a standard pop track, but 2 Billboard #1s in his first year as a mainstream artist stamped that he was a force to be reckoned with. However, it was all about to come crashing down, as Macklemore would suffer from success. At the 2014 annual Grammy Awards, Macklemore was nominated in 7 categories, the biggest and most prestigious being Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song. After winning
Rap Album? For 2 songs? Damn, dude. 7?
Best Rap Performance and Best New Artist, people were happy to see him win 2 Grammys. Nominated for Best Rap Song up against Drake, Kanye West, Jay-Z, it seemed unlikely Macklemore would win.
Yeah. How did he end up winning? A$AP Rocky. Kendrick Lamar. Fucking Problems? He was up against fucking Problems?
Thrift Shop was in fact the winner of
bullshit, dude. People talk about, I hear more references to Problems nowadays than I do anything Macklemore's ever done.
Best Rap Song of 2014.
Although maybe there's a reason.
Securing him his 3rd Grammy of the night. But what would come next would shock the world. Up against Drake's Nothing Was the Same, Jay-Z's Magna Carta, Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid Mad City, and Kanye West's Yeezus, Macklemore had absolutely no chance of winning. Everyone was betting on Kendrick since he without a doubt had the best album of the bunch, but wouldn't be entirely surprised if it went to the other nominees. The hip-hop community was floored when Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist won Best Rap Album of the Year.
That
The Heist couldn't
seems absolutely fucked. Like, objectively false to me. I don't even know anything about this album.
More fitting name for this absolute robbery. Macklemore was being cooked by the hip-hop community online, reminding him in every comment section that he didn't deserve to win. He felt so much pressure that he decided to text Kendrick Lamar and apologize. "You got robbed. I wanted you to win. You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was gonna say that during the speech, then the music started playing during my speech and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love. We wouldn't have ever seen this text if Macklemore didn't post it to social media, which made it even worse and looked like he was just trying.
Yeah. I don't know. The phrasing was weird. If you really felt that way, you could just give him the award yourself. It seems weird to say that to him. Why is this terrible quality? My text to Kendrick after the show, he deserved best rap album. I'm honored and completely blown away to win anything, much less 4. Jesus Christ. But in that category, he should have won, in my opinion. And that's taking nothing away from the heist, just giving GKMC its proper respect. With that being said, thank you to the fans. You're the reason we were on that stage tonight. And to play Same Love, okay, on that platform was a career highlight. The greatest honor of all, that's what this is about. Progress in art. Thank you.
To get in the good graces.
That sucks even more that it was for Same Love, dude. Holy shit.
Public.
Did you ever feel any way about him posting the text message or anything like that?
Yeah. I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you.
Yeah.
When he sent it to me, I was like, okay, you know, I could see him feeling that type of way because he a good dude. But I think for confirmation from the world, you know, he probably felt like he had to put it out there, which he didn't need to do. He didn't need to do.
Not only that, like, yeah, like that. He phrased it weird, and like, he's already giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I mean, I could understand from his perspective. He's already being pretty charitable. Like, why he felt the need to say the things he said, even though they were kind of in a backhanded and weird way. But definitely, like, all of a sudden being like, hey, everyone, look, I did the thing. I'm a good person. Like, I don't know. That just seems really cringe.
But they don't take nothing away from him anyway because I know where his heart is at, he cool.
Despite Kendrick being cordial and saying that Macklemore meant well, hip-hop fans could never truly accept Macklemore as a part of the culture. They thought he was disingenuous, and they didn't really like his music in the first place, so this was an easy excuse to forget about him. He stepped out of the limelight, and many people suggest his music was never as ambitious ever again. He felt guilt, and that guilt ate him alive. His 2016 album, This Unruly Mess I Made, sold just 61,000 copies in the first week. Him and Ryan Lewis split up shortly after, and Mac released another solo album, Gemini, that did decent amongst his fan base, but ultimately he hasn't had any major mainstream success in almost a decade.
Damn.
But unlike Macklemore,
I didn't even know that.
Refused.
Guess I haven't heard about him in a long time. Macklemore was huge when I was in high school. That's crazy. I think hip hop's probably better off, you know, if we're being real. I even liked a couple Macklemore songs when I was a kid, but like, I don't know. Anytime I've heard a Macklemore song in the past like 5 years, it's been like, ugh, you know, like it just it's never hit again. Kind of like, and I might catch some heat for this, G-Eazy. Like, I get it, I get the appeal, all right? I think it, like, the music's fine enough, and I'm sure some people like it. That's cool. I liked it for a second. But then, like, anytime I hear it nowadays, I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's not for me. It's missing me. Whatever it is, it's missing me. I don't know what it is. It's not taking anything away from it. It's just like, it's not my thing.
To apologize to anyone, which is leading to one of the dumbest downfalls of all time.
I think I know what this is about.
exploded onto the mainstream rap scene in 2019 with his hit song Suge, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. In a world of repetitive melodic trap, DaBaby felt fresh and exciting, providing us with bouncy and fun bangers. He dominated for the next 2 years, constantly having multiple singles on the Billboard Hot 100, and he was in regular rotation on the radio. His track Rockstar with Roddy Ricch was the #1 song for 7 weeks straight, a very tough thing to do.
Holy crap, dude. That's almost 2 full months. That's insane. Holy shit. Although I believe that DaBaby was massive like a couple years ago.
do as a hip-hop artist, but DaBaby was always known for having a bold personality. He was the type to say whatever he wanted, and if you had a problem, he was more than willing to handle it. He even killed a guy in Walmart. Don't worry, it was self-defense. Well, in July of 2021, on the stage at Rolling Loud, his loose lips got him in major trouble.
Oh yeah, this
maybe
was bad.
some that he can't recover from.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Completely unprovoked and for no reason at all, DaBaby was thinking about gay men and what they do in their free time while he was on stage performing.
Not only was he doing that, he was negatively characterizing it and trying to exclude them specifically based off of their activities in some sort of group activity. It was literally just a random act of homophobia. I don't even know how else to describe it. It was so weird. I remember when this happened. I remember when he doubled down on Instagram, and I remember the moment I scrubbed him from every single one of my playlists because I was like, oh wow, you are a piece of shit.
Referred to people with AIDS as dirty and will likely die soon from the illness. Both statements are categorically and factually untrue. The clip was shared onto the internet and sent millions of people into an uproar. DaBaby addressed this on his Instagram and clarified his message.
I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called, because I'm a live performer. I'm the best live performer. I'm the live show killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying? Look, all the lights went up gay straight. You want to know why? Because even my gay fans don't got fucking AIDS, stupid ass.
And so there it is right there. It's this... I don't know. He's still in a very 1980s way associating AIDS heavily and almost exclusively with the homosexual community, which is just incredibly fucking ignorant. It's, I don't know, like it kind of blows my mind. There are people who still think this way, apparently. Like anyone can get AIDS. I've thought we've known that since like the back end of the 80s, but I guess not. And it's also this just like, it promotes this idea that there's like a socially acceptable form of being homosexual and a degenerate form of being a homosexual, which is just not true. It's just, it promotes such a weird mentality and understanding of homosexuality in general, and also I guess AIDS and how it actually transmits from person to person. But it was like this demonization of a section of the homosexual community and a demonization of anyone who called out his like bigoted statements as bigoted. It was very weird. It was the weirdest double down ever.
Niggas.
Honestly, the double down was like worse than the initial thing.
Doubling down on his comments made everything way worse, as he clearly was very uneducated on the AIDS disease and the unfair stigmas that come with it. And although he eventually issued an apology addressing the LGBTQ community...
Oh, I don't remember this. Social media moves so fast that people want to demolish you before you even have the opportunity to grow, educate, and learn from your mistakes. Well, I mean, you were saying some pretty hateful shit on your massive platform because you felt it was important to, right? So that shows that you understand that you have power and influence. So should you not be held accountable for misusing that and not taking the time to make sure you have accurate information before you start running your mouth about shit you know nothing about? Isn't that fair? Shouldn't you have been smart enough to do that? As a man who has had to make his own way from very difficult circumstances, having people I know publicly working against me, knowing that what I needed was education on these topics and guidance has been challenging. I appreciate the many people who came to me with kindness, who reached out to me privately to offer wisdom, education, resources. That's what I needed, and it was received. I want to apologize to the LGBTQ plus community for the hurtful and triggering comments I made. Again, I apologize for my misinformed comments about HIV AIDS, and I know education on this important. Love to all. God bless DaBaby. Okay, so I don't know. That's just a PR apology. There's like no specifics. There's not really a whole lot of humanity in it. He's mostly just saying like, You know, thanks to everyone who wasn't fucking mean to me, even though I was saying extremely hateful shit on a massive platform and doubled down. Thanks, assholes. And then he not even acknowledging his demonization of homosexuality, literally just acknowledging his misinformation spreading of HIV and AIDS. So that's cool. That's cool.
He had made countless contradictory statements after. He tried to profit off the controversy in music videos and even kind of redacted his own apology.
If I say what I say to get people to raise their cell phones and it's misinterpreted by people who watch a 5-second clip at home, you're not supposed to understand what's going on. You couldn't raise your cell phone if you wanted to, so you ain't supposed to be able to digest a clip, you know what I'm saying? A clip that been altered and shortened with a narrative to go along with it, with enough people driving it, it's gonna do what it do.
From here, he got kicked off every major festival in 2021
Yeah,
that he was supposed to perform at.
I can't believe that. I don't know why you would revoke the apology. Now I'm glad I missed the apology. I don't know. That, to me, that just seems like someone who really doesn't want to admit that they did wrong. And that's fine. It just, that will only get you as far as it'll get you.
And even when he did perform, he was booed and had garbage thrown at him. A-list celebrities and fellow collaborators condemned him, but the controversy continued. He got into fights, tormented and broke down the mother of his child on Instagram, tried to kiss one of his fans without consent. DaBaby was not trying to save face. He just kept saying, "I'm sorry for being me." His ticket sales plummeted, which resorted to him offering buy one get one free deals to fill out the venues.
Yo, oh my god, I had no idea. Okay, that was a lot to break down, from the like emotional abuse to partner and mother of child to the non-consensual kissing of fans. What is up with that, by the way? Mia was just showing me earlier today this video of this one time Cameron Diaz was presenting an award for Best Kiss. I think it was for Dumb and Dumber, to Jim Carrey. And this guy that was presenting the award with her, I can't remember his name. He just kept trying to kiss Cameron Diaz, even though she was like pulling away and clearly like, I don't want this at all. And she was even saying like, you know, on the direct kiss, best kiss on the director's order, on the director's order, on the director's order. And then finally he just like grabbed her and like kissed her, which was horrifying. People clapped because it was like the 90s, which was disgusting. But then when Jim Carrey came up, he just grabbed the guy and kissed him, and the guy was like pulling away. So that was kind of legendary. He at least, I hope, made that guy see in that moment, like, this is what you just did to a person. Do you feel how uncomfortable and how violated you feel right now? That's what you just did to someone for your own pleasure and entertainment of these people. Hopefully. But then, you know, like, there was a separate time and a separate awards for later where Jim Carrey ended up kissing Alicia Silverstone against her will. So I don't know. It just left me with this feeling of like, can we like, is this so hard to understand that you just don't put your mouth on strangers or people? Like, don't be putting your mouth on people that you don't put your mouth on. What is that? Why do we have to talk about this? This is like the Yo Gabba Gab episode. Like, don't bite your friends. Like, don't kiss strangers, you guys. Don't do that. Don't just be grabbing people. That is insane. That is insane. Oh my God.
One report alleged that he only sold 500 tickets to a venue that holds 14,000 people, and he claims to have lost $30 million because of the controversy.
Like the week or two after. $30 million, $30 million that I would have had before the ball dropped 2021. So this happened rolling out with July. I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st.
All he had to say was, put your hands in the air if you just don't care, and all of this could have
been. Honestly, all he had to do, or just put your hands in the air for me. Like, if you got a cell phone, turn that light on, get it in the sky. Like, that's it. That's it. You didn't have to say anything specifically. You didn't have to single anyone out like that. And if you did want to make the experience more personal, you just be like, if you're a real fan and you fuck with me, like, you didn't have to like draw a circle Like you didn't have to be so combative with the statement. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Been avoided. But if you think what DaBaby said was bad, you'll be horrified by what CeeLo Green said in a series of questionable tweets. If you don't remember the name CeeLo Green or his previous duo Gnarls Bark.
Okay, I remember that CeeLo Green all of a sudden was no longer on like The Voice or judging any shows, but I don't remember why. I vaguely remember something weird happened around him, but I don't remember what it was. And that's kind of disappointing to me because there was a few CeeLo Green songs I thought were bangers.
You definitely remember his two most iconic songs, Crazy and Forget You. Crazy peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 29 weeks on the chart. Forget You, which he released solo 4 years later, also went number 2 on the Hot 100 after spending almost a full year on the charts. CeeLo had
just couldn't quite get that #1 spot. That sucks.
very unique voice and was undeniably talented. He pretty much only gave us 2 hits, but was an ever-present pop culture figure throughout the early 2010s.
Not only that, I feel like he was featured on a lot of stuff. People grabbed his voice for samples or like just had him sing little parts, I feel like, all the time, if I remember that right. I feel like for a few years I was hearing his voice everywhere, and he was one of those people that is just like, it doesn't seem like he's doing his own thing a lot, but he shows up everywhere.
Whether he was hosting an award show, his own reality show, voice acting,
he had a
or being
reality
judge
show
on The Voice, CeeLo was loved and appreciated until some shocking allegations arose. CeeLo was accused by a 33-year-old woman he dined with at a downtown Los Angeles sushi restaurant of placing ecstasy, also known as MDMA or Molly, in her drink. The woman later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault charges were dropped after prosecutors concluded there wasn't enough evidence to take that accusation to court.
Bullshit. Oh my god. Actual monster. I'm sorry. How is that not enough to convict? How is that not? If one party took it willingly, the other party ended up with it in their system, but didn't take it willingly, has a time gap, woke up clearly in a intimate state, jail, that's jail. Was it in their system? I'm not sure. I'm just assuming so because there was a definitive statement that she had taken it. Maybe they're just assuming that she took it willingly because, our legal system doesn't like to believe victims, especially if they're women. I like jail. Like, how is that not straight to jail? I don't like, I feel like a junior detective could figure this out.
But he was found guilty on drug charges.
And when I say junior detective, I mean like a 9-year-old with like a cardboard box who has like a sign with like misspelled that says like will solve crimes for 5 cents or something like that. I mean, like that sort of junior detective could like look at this information and be like, oh yeah, he did that. Take him away, boys. Like literally 100%. Are you kidding me? This is so fucking disgusting.
Which landed him 3 years probation. But it wasn't the nature of the charges that ruined his career. It's what he said on Twitter after the case.
How? I feel like that should have been enough. That was enough to ruin it for me. Are you kidding me? No way, dude.
Criticized by people in public tweets, he decided to respond. Women who have really been R-worded, remember, but point taken. So if I tried but did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened? When someone...
If you tried but did not succeed, then you committed the crime of attempted sexual assault or attempted rape. That's what that is. Like, attempted crimes are still crimes. Attempted robbery still is a crime. Attempted murder is a crime. Like, what is he? One, that's admission. That is straight up admission, I feel like. Maybe it's not. Maybe in a legal court they would say, like, technically this is just conjecture and he's just asking a hypothetical on Twitter. But I feel like that is a straight up admission right there, especially with the way he capitalized tried and not and like I don't, the way he's like outlining it, that's admission. So that shows your intent. That shows you had a plan. That shows you executed on that plan. You are guilty of that crime that you were accused of. You just admitted that. I feel like this is new evidence, and it literally should be able to be used to retry him, because that is straight up admission.
Breaks in a home, there's broken glass. Where is your plausible proof anyone was R-worded? If someone passed out, they're not even with you consciously. So with implies consent. It's hard to say.
No. What? Wait, okay, hold on. I don't even understand what he's trying to say there. Is he trying to say that if someone is unconscious around you, they've just given consent for anything and everything that happens to them as they are unconscious? How would he feel about that? Like if he passed out and someone just started like sawing off part of his arm, and you know, he wakes up screaming, obviously, but he finds himself like already like, you know, sedated or tied down or something. You're like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell? That's my arm. What are you doing? And you're just like, oh, well, you were asleep. So like, you know, I asked you if you were into it. Like I asked you if I could take your arm because like I just want a bigger arm. I was gonna trade arms. Like my arm's like kind of weak and stuff, and I wanted your arm because it looks good. So I asked you if you were down, and you were asleep. So consent, you know, because you were unconscious, but you were hanging out with me. So that means I have your consent to do whatever. So I'm just gonna keep sawing off your arm now because you were asleep when we started. So we're good. Like what? Like someone please outline this man's logic to him. But obviously, you know, he probably knows that. This is the weirdest. I can't even imagine. I can't, like, no legal team, I guess. No, not a single person in his ear to be like, hey, you should not admit to all the crimes you did on Twitter. But like, hey, more power to him. Good for him for letting us all know that he was a monster and shouldn't be trusted or given influence. That's you know, good for him for self-reporting.
See what point he was trying to make here, but the blogs were not holding back. CeeLo.
I can't really, yeah, I can't really see what point he was trying to make at all.
It's not rape if you forget. CeeLo Green. It isn't rape if the victim is unconscious. After these tweets, his reputation was destroyed. He lost all of his live performance bookings. He quit The Voice to avoid being fired. His TV show was canceled, and he basically disappeared from the pop culture zeitgeist, pretty much surviving off royalties and small film roles here and there. But I guess him and I are friends now?
Yo, Pat, what's up, man? I'm assuming that your friends call you Pat.
My friends do call me Pat, so...
And I consider myself to be one of your friends.
The next person on our list lost her career from some...
That's it? That's the whole cameo? What? Was it just to say hi? That's crazy.
Something that was totally out of her control.
Yeah, okay, so this is about the Super Bowl thing? Okay, well, that's stupid, because if I didn't watch this as a child. I don't really watch football. Like ever. I watched this year's halftime show, but I didn't really watch the game. God, Rihanna slapped. Oh, what a queen. But anyway, this, if I remember right, like this was like a wardrobe malfunction caused by Justin Timberlake doing something, and she took all the fucking heat. And I think this is what sparked like the at least 7-second delay on live TV events to prevent something like this from ever happening again. And I remember growing up, everyone was like, her boob was out, her boob was out, her boob was out. And then I was like, that's crazy. I can't believe they showed a boob on TV. And then eventually when I was an adult, I saw like pictures of the event. She had what are they called? I don't know, but she had a sticker. She had a little sticker on her nipple. Like none of her areola was showing. I have no idea why they actually were even freaking. I remember when I saw it as an adult, I was like, wait a minute. This is why everyone freaked out during the Super Bowl event? Because her boob was out and it had like a sticker over the part that apparently no one is supposed to see ever? I don't know. Maybe it's because by then standards had already changed in public and stuff, but like it just seemed stupid to me. Like I actually couldn't believe it. I was like, I would have thought maybe that was just part of her outfit because she's a pop star and pop stars be wearing whatever they want, you know? Like, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me that everyone cared.
In fact, it may have even been a setup. Janet Jackson is a woman who needs no introduction. She's the youngest of the 9 iconic Jackson family siblings. Although she was not a part of the original Jackson 5, she would go on to have a massive solo music career. Jackson signed the first of 2 record-breaking multi-million-dollar contracts with Virgin Records, establishing her as one of the highest-paid artists in the industry.
Damn,
she was named by Billboard magazine in the industry.
That is a power stance. That is such a Jackson power stance, dude. Look at that. Like, just... Like, oh my god, iconic.
He was named by Billboard magazine in the 90s as the second most successful recording artist of the decade in the United States after Mariah Carey. Over 100 million records sold, 10 Billboard #1 songs, 27 top 10 hits. She is easily the most successful artist on this list, which is why her downfall is even more tragic. The Super Bowl in America is always the most watched televised program every year, with an average of around 100 million people watching the game. The halftime show has historically been a major
that was a good halftime show too.
Milestone in an artist's career, as it is the biggest stage they will likely ever be on. In 2004, Janet Jackson was asked to do the show, but not by herself, which was surprising since she easily had enough hits to do a full set. Instead, she only got to perform 2 of her songs. The other time was filled out by Justin Timberlake, Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Jessica Simpson.
Why was Kid Rock there? Fucking gross.
Last song of the performance was Justin's hit song, Rock Your Body, in which Janet assisted him. The 2 met at the center of the stage to pose for the grand finale. Justin reaches across Janet's body and pulls off the chest piece of her costume, exposing her breast to 90 million people. The wardrobe malfunction is considered the biggest controversy in televised history. This incident was actually the inspiration for YouTube because of the difficulty finding footage to rewatch online. Now, to some degree,
oh my, ew. Oh my god. That's, I have been on YouTube since like the very beginning. I feel like I know a lot more about YouTube and its growth and its stuff than a lot of people in my life. And I literally never knew that part of the reason YouTube was born was so people could look at Janet Jackson's titty. That... I wish that didn't make as much sense to me as it does.
This was planned. Justin's intention was to pull the leather piece off her chest and expose the red underneath, but he ripped too much. In the split second the camera was on Janet, you can see her look down in shock. She tried to cover herself while Timberlake stood holding the ripped pieces of her costume and bra. The FCC...
Did she know that was gonna happen? Like, did she know that he was gonna rip something off? I really hope so.
Received more than 500,000 complaints after the performance. CBS was fined $550,000, and a halftime sponsor, AOL, demanded a return of the $10 million advertising cost they paid to the NFL. Justin apologized, MTV apologized, Janet apologized, even though she later regretted it because it was an accident.
Yeah, also, it happened to her. Why did she apologize? Why did she apologize when it happened to her? It wasn't like her thing. That's so weird.
Media went into an all-out frenzy. The FCC investigated the halftime show to see if this was a planned media stunt meant to shock the world, citing that because she was wearing a nipple covering, that was evidence this was all set up. Class action lawsuits were filed against Janet by random...
I don't know about that. I feel like it's common for people to wear nipple coverings, one, just in cases, because you never freaking know, especially if you're like running around dancing and stuff on stage. Stuff happens, dude. Like, something could get caught on something. Sweat could cause something to slip off. I feel like if you look at people who are running around on stage, you're gonna find a lot of like just in cases stuff. And Dose, maybe it was so she didn't have any like pokies, you know? Like, you don't fucking know. I like, what? That's so weird.
Citizens claiming that her sexually explicit performance deserved maximum punitive damages. Every talk show host in the nation dragged her. Viacom had to pay out $3.5 million to settle various indecency complaints, so they went and banned all radio and TV stations that they owned from playing any of Janet Jackson's music. Janet was blackballed from the music industry over an accident.
Oh my god, dude, that's insane. That is insane. What? Over something that happened to her.
And Justin.
And how come Justin Timberlake? Yeah, I was just about to say, how come Justin Timberlake didn't get in any trouble at all? Why was no one mad at him at all? He still dominates every time he comes out with something.
Was not punished at all, even though it was definitely his fault. There is no doubt her punishment was unfair and likely due to her gender and race. Her career after that wasn't totally dismantled.
100%.
She did have a #1 album, a Grammy nomination, some light Billboard presence, but this incident lingered like a dark cloud over her head for many years, and slowly she faded out of the mainstream.
I am one of those women who have been gagged, both literally and emotionally, women who have been abused, women who have been intimidated, women who have lived in fear. I stand with you. You are my sister.
Yeah.
However, today, most people can all agree that this was just an overreaction, and she is still highly regarded as one of the most iconic pop stars of all time.
Yeah, how could she not be? She's a fucking Jackson.
Overreacting to small mistakes seemed to be common in the early 2000s because this next artist's career was destroyed by something so small, it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I actually can't believe this either, mostly because, like, the Super Bowl concerts every year now are always, I think this might be after the Janet Jackson thing or another event, but they will not let people sing live. They will only take pre-recorded things. And part of that is also because you're running around doing crazy choreographies all up and down a freaking football field. So, like, I don't know. It just seemed weird.
Simpson was the younger sister of the already famous pop star Jessica Simpson, who was a multi-platinum Billboard charting recording artist. She also had her own MTV show. Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica was one of the most popular programs on the network.
She had a reality show too? Dude, everyone had a reality show in the 2000s. I never knew.
TV wanted to capitalize on the Simpson sisters' newfound fame and gave Ashley her own series called The Ashley Simpson Show. The series ran for 2 seasons and aired every week on MTV directly after Jessica's show. Viewers who were invested in Jess were introduced to Ashley immediately after. Ashley was desperate to not live in the shadows of her sister. She dyed her naturally blonde hair brown and built a pop-punk image to complement her pop rock music. Her album's lead single,
I don't remember any of this, dude.
Pieces of Me, became an instant hit in the United States. The song peaked at
Okay, wow, Pieces of Me. Okay, I think I actually remember that song and it wasn't bad. But 2, Pieces of You by Jewel. How dare you? How dare you?
#5 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 500,000 copies nationwide. Ashley's debut album was released soon after, with an estimated 398,000 copies sold in its first week. Worldwide, the album sold more than 5 million
She's like
copies.
driving a car that's much taller than her. She was like, That's like a Linda Belcher move.
She had a bigger debut than her sister, but her career ended just before it took off. Saturday Night Live 2004. Ashley Simpson was set to perform her single Pieces of Me when this happened.
On a Monday, I am waiting. Tuesday, I am fading.
You might be kind of confused as to what happened. Basically,
oof, the dance is so rough. I get that she feels awkward and she's trying to make a little joke, but it's so rough. It did not age well.
The backing vocals started playing before Ashley expected them, as it was her intention to lip sync her performance. But instead of trying to catch up to the song, she stood there in a panic, then hit this extremely awkward jig dance twice, before ultimately exiting the stage without saying anything. The show cut to commercial, and when it came back, she blamed her band.
Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Live TV.
Exactly. I feel so bad my band started playing the wrong song, and I know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown. I'm sorry.
If she just told the truth right away, she may have been
okay, so no, because if your band played the wrong song, then where'd your voice come from?
able to avoid the backlash, but instead Ashley became a laughingstock.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, that's rough. That's the worst place for it to happen on, because they're immediately gonna roast you.
Even news anchors poked fun at her.
Sister's performance on Saturday Night Live was, well, out of sync, you could say.
All right, sorry, we had to do that. It was just our own little lip-syncing adventure.
We were mocking her.
At just 19, she was publicly ridiculed by the world. And this is all especially ridiculous considering
Man, she was only 19? Oh, that's rough. That is so rough. I can't imagine dealing with that at 19. Oh my God. When I was 19, I couldn't even handle the store not having something I wanted. Like, I was too emotionally fragile for that. I can't even imagine.
Today's standards are much lower. It almost feels like lip syncing isn't even a real thing anymore. Half of my favorite artists at their live shows just let the song play, jump around, and yell random ad-libs. Even though Ashley was a decent performer, and she did have an opportunity to redeem herself on various late-night shows, nobody cared. Nobody wanted to give her a second chance. It was too much fun to make jokes and boo her off stage.
Oof. Oof.
She did have a moderate comeback with her single Boyfriend in 2005, and her second
Don't
album
remember that
eventually
one.
selling 3 million copies worldwide, but she had already seen the peak of her music career, and as it slowly dwindled away, she maintained her relevance in the 2010s through relationships, various television projects, and her own social media. But the last person on our list has the most unexpected, shocking, and horrifying incidents that landed them in prison.
What
in
is-
2015,
what?
the world was dancing to Silent-O's hit song, Watch Me. The song paired with the massive viral dance, the whip and the nay-nay. All of social media was flooded with videos of people doing the dance. With Vine and Instagram peaking in popularity, Silent-O laid the foundation for what would become extremely normal on TikTok many years later.
Man,
He
that's so
performed at
true.
award shows, on Nickelodeon, every talk show in America. The virality got the single to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as 1.8 billion views on YouTube. Today, the record...
God, 1 billion, 2 billion views, bro.
record is 6 times platinum. Unfortunately, hip-hop dance tracks have a history of being impossible to outdo, because for every one that becomes culturally iconic, there are hundreds of cheesy failed attempts to recreate the moment. Silent-O
Valid.
waited 3 years to drop his album Fresh Outta High School, which failed to generate any buzz, and his second album went almost totally unnoticed. But before you could fully count
Fresh
him
Out of High School Part 2?
he made a decision that officially ended his career. On January 21st, 2021, the 23-year-old rapper was arrested for the murder of his cousin, 34-year-old Frederick Rooks, after a shooting in DeKalb County, Georgia. Police said officers found Rooks suffering from multiple gunshot wounds at a home off of Deep Shoals Circle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators did not have a suspect at the time. Responding officers were able to obtain video from the security cameras of multiple residents and later identified Hawk, or Silent-O, as the gunman. Silent-O was arrested February 1st, 2021, and then later indicted by a Georgia grand jury on 4 felonies. One count of malice murder, 1 count of felony murder, aggravated assault, and gun possession during the commission of a felony. As of now, the court has deemed Silent-O unfit for the safety of the public and will remain incarcerated until further trial. Since the trial has not started yet, we don't know how he did it, we don't know why he did it, and we don't know how long he might be in jail, but we do know is that his career is officially over.
I never knew that in my life. And I feel like I still make whip and nay-nay jokes sometimes. That's crazy. Because people hate women of color. That's why. I don't know. It ended in my eyes. Fuck Chris Brown. Fuck Chris Brown forever. But get that off my screen. All right. I'm gonna do a gross, dude, from one to another. And I know the charges were dropped, whatever. That's cool. It does not explain the DMs. It will never explain the awful, horrific DMs of Royland talking to minors and mentioning things like sex slavery to them, calling them bitches, using the F slur. These are children who are in school talking about how they're in school in the DMs. Nothing will ever explain all of that behavior or make me think that that behavior is okay or anything less than something that should be monitored at the very least, if not punished. So I could give a shit about the charges being dropped. All of the messages that came out in Discovery and stuff, absolutely, yeah, no. Absolutely. There's a pattern of behavior there. But I'm going to be back. I'll get into it here in a second. Thanks for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitch to join us live. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you later.